Hello. So in this practice that we'll do, I just really wanting to focus again on finding, so again, some of this is going to be a review for most of you, is finding core strength, kind of finding that from a deeper sense versus just the usual kind of six-pack abdominal region that we're used to. Because what can happen with tension in the hips is can actually be developed from a little bit of destabilizing and strength and stability through the core. So this is just a short little practice, a little bit more of an exploration than anything, just to just spend a few moments. I'm just going to go through this maybe about 10 minutes or so, is perhaps trying this out a few times over the next few days and then just getting some information on how this registers, how these movements register in your body, different sensations that you're feeling, where you're feeling strength, where you're feeling maybe a little wobbly or weak. So it would be really great if you, if there's any like big observations that you notice, you can let me know. If not, all good, carry on. All right, so come down onto your mat. You're gonna come into constructive resting. So just take your time and actually send your feet maybe about as wide as your mat, just a little bit wider than that. And let's drop the knees in towards each other. So usually I suggest that having the space between when you're in constructive resting, but just for today's purposes, let's actually step the feet wide, drop your knees in, unless for some reason that's just not comfortable. So take a moment, allow yourself to land here. Maybe you get the sense like you could lift your rib cage further away from your pelvis. You can tuck your chin and lengthen a little more through the back of your neck. Find some space around your shoulder blades and let the hands and arms relax, either on the body or beside the body. Just take a moment and just allow gravity to draw you down and onto your space. Softening through the muscles of the face and the eyes, the cheeks and the jaw. Just allowing the breath to be fluid and soft, spacious. And you're relaxing the shoulders and arms. Just start to become aware of the points of contact the back side of your body is making against the space beneath you, so the shoulder blades, any points of contact the spine is making here. Notice how heavy the head is, the hips are. Can you soften any muscular action of the legs and the feet? Just allow them to just fall into the weight of the bones. And then taking your hands, and we'll actually place them on the rib cage. We're going to start to locate 3D breathing here. So often we'll think about a deep breath as this big expansion and fullness to the belly. Can we think about it a little bit more into the width and the full capacity and space of our rib cage? Again, just to allow it to be like fairly effortless, just more with like noticing it, intending for the breath to be full into the whole 360 of the core. Perhaps closing the eyes and visualizing that with each in-breath as the rib cage expands wide out into the hands, that the diaphragm lowers down through the ribs, maybe softens down into the belly a little bit. And then as you exhale, the rib cage just kind of softens inward and that diaphragm's pulling back up. So can this be kind of a little incentive to find space in the chest as well? When that rib cage opens and expands and the diaphragm comes down, there's kind of more capacity for the lungs to expand. Notice any movement in the back of your body, in the back ribs, the low back. And then bringing the hands down to the soft part of your belly. Allow your hands to receive your breath. Still continuing with that full 3D breath, breathing into the side ribs, the back ribs, the lungs and the diaphragms lowering, but just this sense of like the breath softening the belly all the way deep down into the pelvis. Maybe visualizing with each inhale that the sit bones get a little bit wider and the pelvic floor relaxes. Beautiful. 3 more full breaths here. And then finding some space between your knees, feet about hip distance or whatever comfortable space allows the knees to just fall heavy and relaxed here. And then we'll take the fingertips just kind of in from the hip bones a little bit into that very low smushy spot on the belly. And can you either, you can find it by coughing, just that like deep activation of those low belly muscles. From there, using those muscles, having a little bit of space in your low back, so you're not pressing the low back down to find engagement to the belly. You're keeping the low back as it is and just engaging from the front. So it might kind of feel like you're knitting everything in towards the center. Once you've found that, can you lift your legs, maybe one at a time, so the knees are stacked above the hips. You still have space in your low back and you can feel that that belly is engaged. So you may need to do that a few times to just kind of get that brain to, like register where those muscles are and using those muscles to lift your legs. So even just taking a few moments to just touch the heel down, just notice that you're still maintaining the engagement here. This would be something that if you're noticing that when you drop the heels you're losing, then I would kind of pause here and this be your practice for a little bit. It doesn't take long for the brain and the muscles to get that muscle memory. All right, so just doing that here. All right, having the knees up above the hips, still engaging through the core. Take your right hand, press it onto your left thigh. So find this relationship between the leg pressing into the hand and the hand pressing into the leg. Take your left arm up overhead, reach towards the short edge of your mat. Lengthen your right leg away. All right, still maintaining this activation in the core. If you're losing it, just reverse back again to that initial practice and then bringing that back in. And then reach forward. Then reach the right arm again away from you, left arm overhead. Still maintaining this pressure, stabilizing and through the hips of the hand and the leg. Take a few breaths here. Just let yourself flow through that. That not much is changing through the core. We're just working to stabilize and get a little bit of muscle and brain working together in the hip. Nice. Bring your right foot down to the mat. Bring your hands to the back of your left leg. Send the heel to the sky. And just again, find the shoulders relaxed, length to the back of your neck. Press your leg into your hands. Let your arms move away from you like they're trying to resist it. Then pull the leg towards you and then push the leg away. So just find this relationship between the hands pulling and the legs pushing. So again, just gaining some traction in the hip socket here. pushing back and forth, pulling and pushing. So really using the musculature of the hip to engage through this action. You may now notice some shaking, if there's some weakness. All right, release from that. You're going to take your right knee towards you. Just allow it to hover. Take your hands down at your side and then start to just circle your left leg around. Doesn't matter which direction, just start to circle it around. And can you still maintain this stable structure through the center? Change your direction. So if you're rolling over to the left side when you move the left leg, can you minimize the movement a bit? If there is any clicking going on, imagine that you were like resisting either water or something that was, you had to add like a little bit of effort to the leg moving. Beautiful. Bring your right foot down again. Left leg still towards the sky. Bring your hand to the outer edge of your thigh. Let your, sorry you can't see that, your left elbow land to the floor and it supports your leg. Press your leg into your hand and your hand into the leg. So again, a little bit of traction here. Core is probably still engaged, hopefully. Right foot presses down into the floor. You're pressing the leg into the hand. Release that. Take your hand to your inner thigh. Press your hand into your leg and then resist that with the leg. Allowing the spine and everything to stay neutral, the pelvis to stay heavy, just as you did a moment ago. Nice. Let that release and come back down. Just take a moment, take a breath into the ribs. Allow the belly to soften for just a moment, a full breath in and breath out. All right, engaging the belly again to lift those knees up. Okay, taking left hand to press onto right thigh. Press the right thigh into the left hand. Right arm reaches up overhead, left leg lengthens away from you. And this can follow a breath pattern, so maybe you exhale on the way in and you inhale to lengthen and reach. You can always reverse that just to notice, can you still maintain this stable core with the inhale and the exhale in different directions? Still a little bit of space to your low back. You're not clenching through the jaw or through the shoulders. Just bringing this in and reaching. A few more like this. Beautiful. Relax left foot to the floor. Right leg goes to the sky, hands behind the leg. So pressing the leg into the hands and then pulling with the hands and sort of resist that and then press and let the hands move away. So you're just activating, again, some of the musculature in the hip socket here. So pushing the leg and pulling the leg. Finding this relationship between the hands and arms and the leg. Nice. Release that. Left knee comes in. It's just kind of floating here at your side or in front of your belly. And then again, start to find some circles with your right leg. So if you have a side or a hip that is weaker than the other, that's probably the side you would notice any clicking on. So again, imagine that you're resisting water or a strong wind, or you're pushing something with your leg, versus just kind of flailing it around in the space around you. So find a few rotations in both directions. Just explore the range of movement that you have without the core losing its stability or the body rocking around from side to side. All right, left foot comes down to the floor again. Leg out to the side just slightly, bring it into your hand so that your hand can push into your leg and your leg can push into your hand. activating some of the deeper stabilizing muscles of the hips here. Release that, bring it to inner thigh presses into the hand into the leg, maintaining stable and weight on the left side, left foot's pressing into the floor still. Nice, and then release, bring that foot down. Arms out to the side like a T, step your feet wide, drop your knees from side to side, so just windshield wipering them here. Allowing this to be fairly relaxed and floppy. And the next time you're over to your right, pausing there, bringing the knees together. Your hand can be on your rib cage, your left hand. All right, but we're actually going to lift the left knee, draw it towards your chest, and then let it go over to your left side. Let your body roll with you so that your right knee lands down onto your left. So you're kind of moving into a twist here. Then reach your right knee towards your chest and circle it back over to your right. So that knee that's lifting is guiding the movement, but it's coming towards you, kind of a rainbow shape, and then over to the other side. So just moving from side to side for a moment. Relax the breath, belly. Notice where the belly's working, where the belly can soften. Nice. Next time you're over to one side, roll all the way over and come on up to sitting. And we'll come into a deer posture. Also known sometimes as 90-90, which I'm not expecting you to find two 90-degree angles right now, but just drawing the legs in towards you, the heels in towards you, and kind of anchoring down through your seat. So if you have, let's say we're sitting on the right side. Sorry, I should have said that. Sitting on the right side, right knee's pointed out, and the legs are over to your left. Let's lift the right arm up towards the sky, find a side bend, turn towards your left, bring your chest down, reach up and over, hand comes behind you, sweep that left arm forward as you lift the hips up, open through the chest. Coming back down, right arm up and over, nice side bend, turn chest towards the floor, rising up, hand comes behind you, sweep that left arm, hips lift. And one more time, up, nice side bend here. Turning towards the chest and reaching, reach up, hand comes behind you, and the hips lift here. And come on down. And then change direction. So feet off to your right, you're sitting on your left hip. Left hand reaches up and over, nice side bend, turn chest and reach. Reach up. Hand plants behind you, right arm sweeps up and over as you open and lift those hips. Right hand comes down, left hand up, over, turn chest, reach, come on back up. Hand plants down, right arm reaches, and come on down. One more time, nice side bend, left, right arm circles, and lifts up here, and coming back down. All right, so just a quick little practice. Might be a nice one to end the day with, depending on what you're doing, or perhaps even start your day with, or playing around with that other video of folding from the hips. So just some explorations, some postures and some movements that are definitely going to help move us into this transition of sun salutations that we're doing together in June. So really excited about that. So play around with these over the week, and I'd love to hear from you, even just 2 words, 3 words, a few little sentences of how it's going for you. Any observations that you're noticing. It might be something like, oh, this feels kind of strange, or I'm noticing when this happens. It can be a gain or a pain, so I'd love to hear either of those from you. If there's anything that you notice, if you don't notice anything at all, then that's okay too. Look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.